Hi and welcome to Whiskey Shared. You're watching day 12 of my mystery whiskey advent calendar. I'm Toby and you're watching Whiskey Shared. Welcome to day 12 of my mystery whiskey advent or dramvent calendar. If you've seen this before and you know it works, then you can just skip straight forward to the tasting. Otherwise, the way this works is I have over 150 samples in my sample collection and my wife has picked 24 at random. She'll put one a day into this blue Glencairn glass and I'll nose it, I'll taste it, I'll tell you if I like it, and I'll have a stab at what I think it is. Should we find out what I'm drinking? On to the whiskey. If you'd like to play along with me and find out what's in my glass when I do, then just keep watching. Otherwise, take a look in the description now for a sneak peek. Let's start with the nose. Right, so instantly I'm getting some sort of fruitiness. It's reminded me of like black currants. Maybe similar to sort of like port wine. There's a slightly herbal note in there as well. Doesn't seem very high ABV on the nose. But yeah, instantly reminds me of some sort of wine or sherry or port finished whiskey. Maybe there's a hint of chocolate in there as well. Yeah, not getting much more though. Let's move on to the palate. There's definitely a nice creamy chocolate note to start with. It's quite oily, this whiskey, and then you're dominated by a very malty, yeasty, and then sort of tannic wine sort of finish. Slightly drying, slightly savoury, but yeah, it's interesting how it can start off quite sweet and then end quite savoury. Let's have another sip. Yeah, it's quite chewy, this whiskey. It's very very oily, and that yeasty, savoury, slightly herbal note, slightly malted barley and oatcakes even. It's it really flip-flops from that sweetness that I get. There's a slightly like blackcurrant jam and chocolate at the start, and then it flip-flops to a really savoury, malty, herbal note. It's probably a little bit too dominant for me. I wouldn't say this is my sort of preference when it comes to whiskey, but it's not unpleasant. There's not much heat. I think this would be 46 ABV. I think it's a Scotch. I think these sort of characters are what you find in a Scotch whiskey. Most likely a Highland whiskey. But it's, yeah, I think it's probably got a reasonable age, at least 10 years old. And yeah, I don't think there's much more. Well, I definitely think there's some sort of wine or port finish there. Don't think it's sherry, possibly, but it possibly could be. Yeah. Should we find out what's in my glass? Right. So it's a Craigellachie 8-year-old Whisky Broker Oloroso cask. It's 54.3% and it was sent to me by Paul Gibbs. So as always, Paul sends me some blinders, and yeah, I definitely wouldn't have picked up this being a Craigellachie. It doesn't have, although there is a savoury note, it's I was expecting it to be a bit more meaty if it was Craigellachie. 8 years old, I think I said at least double figures, so I wasn't far off. But yeah, it's Oloroso. I would have thought this was more a wine or a port finish from the flavours I was picking up. And it's definitely very deceptive with that ABV. 54.3% is much higher than I was anticipating. It's very drinkable. It's just probably a little bit too savoury for my liking, but it's nice as an occasional dram, and I think it might even open up more with time. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, and I'm going to enjoy the rest off camera. And hopefully I'll see you back again tomorrow for some more Sauncher. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.